Most men over 40 do not need more expensive clothing brands. They need to stop spending in the wrong places. A Uniqlo Supima cotton t-shirt costs about $20. A Brooks Brothers Supima cotton t-shirt can cost close to $70. Same premium cotton category. Very different price tag. And be honest, has anyone ever walked up to you and said, "Nice shirt. I can tell that's Brooks Brothers"? Of course not. Because nobody is checking the label inside your shirt. They notice the fit, the collar, the fabric, and whether the whole thing makes you look put together. That gap between what clothing costs and what clothing actually does for you is what this video is about. Today I'm giving you 5 affordable brands men over 40 should have on their radar. Not because they are the cheapest, but because they give you real value. Better fabric, better fit, quieter design, and pieces that work in a grown man's wardrobe. For each brand, I'll tell you what is worth buying and what I would skip. And at the end, I'll give you 4 quick tests you can use on any piece of clothing before you spend money. Number 5 is the one most men do not expect, but it may be the most useful. Let's get into it. Before the list, here is the standard. Cheap is not the same as value. A shirt that twists after 4 washes is not a deal. It is just drawer space you paid for. For men over 40, value comes down to 4 things. Fabric that holds up, fit that works on an adult body, design that stays quiet, and clothing that still looks right 6 months from now. Every brand on this list earns its place because it does at least one of those things better than its price suggests. That does not mean every item is worth buying. It means you need to know where each brand is strongest. Starting with number 1, and I know some of you are going to roll your eyes before I explain it. Number 1, Kirkland Signature. I know. Hear me out. Most men walk straight past the clothing section at Costco. They see folded stacks of jeans, t-shirts, chinos, and jackets. Assume none of it belongs in a serious wardrobe and keep moving toward the paper towels. But Kirkland is built on a simple idea. Strip away costs that do not improve the product. No flagship store, no celebrity campaign, no fashion image to maintain. The clothing is not exciting, but the value is hard to ignore. Kirkland's model allows more of the price to stay closer to the product itself. That is why some Kirkland basics can compete with department store pieces that cost much more. For the foundation pieces of a wardrobe, this is where Kirkland makes the most sense. The everyday t-shirts, basic jeans, simple chinos, socks, underwear, and seasonal outerwear are not the pieces that need to carry your style. They are the quiet pieces underneath it. The jeans are usually straightforward, straight or relaxed fits, natural waist, basic washes, nothing trendy. That is exactly why they work. The t-shirts are best in white, gray, navy, and black, but only if the collar holds and the fabric does not feel flimsy. The chinos are best when they are clean, simple, mid-rise, and straight cut. The outerwear can work too, but only when the fabric feels substantial. What I would buy: tees, jeans, socks, underwear, simple chinos, and practical outerwear when the fabric feels substantial. What I would skip: anything too shiny, too thin, too seasonal, or too eager to look fashionable. The foundation of a grown man's wardrobe does not need to be expensive. It needs to be clean, durable, and quiet. Let Kirkland handle the quiet work. Save your money for the pieces people actually notice. Number 2 is where affordable basics get more interesting, because this brand thinks more like a fabric company than a fashion label. Number 2, Uniqlo. A lot of men over 40 have been to Uniqlo and still think of it as a budget basics store. That undersells it. At its best, Uniqlo is not a trend brand. It is a fabric-first basics brand, and it is strongest when it keeps things simple. Start with the Supima cotton t-shirt. Supima is American-grown cotton with a longer fiber than standard cotton, which usually means a softer feel, better durability, and a cleaner surface over time. Around $20 gets you a clean neckline, a soft feel, and a shirt that usually feels more refined than many basics at twice the price. After 40, a plain t-shirt only works if it stays plain in the right way. No stretched neck, no twisted body, no cheap shine, no giant logo. The Oxford shirt may be one of the most useful shirts a man over 40 can own. Clean enough for business casual, relaxed enough for Saturday. More grown up than another graphic tee. Uniqlo's version works when the shoulder sits right, the collar holds, and the chest does not balloon. The chinos are worth looking at because they sit between jeans and dress pants. Not formal, not sloppy, just clean. The selvedge denim is also worth knowing. Not because selvedge magically makes jeans perfect, but because Uniqlo gives you a more substantial denim experience than you usually find at that price. For cooler weather, the merino sweaters are one of the safest buys in the store. Lightweight, clean, easy to layer, and mature without looking old. What I would buy: Supima tees, Oxford shirts, chinos, merino sweaters, basic denim, AIRism, heat tech, and simple outer layers. What I would skip: thin, seasonal pieces, overly cropped shapes, and trend-heavy collaborations that do not fit your actual life. Uniqlo works because it understands something a lot of men over 40 need. Simple is not boring when the fit and fabric are right. The next brand is less modern, less minimal, and a little more complicated. But in the right category, it still earns a place. Number 3, Land's End. If you are over 40, this name probably feels familiar. Maybe you remember it from the catalog era. Maybe you still get the emails and never quite unsubscribe. Here is the honest version. Land's End is not perfect. The brand has changed. Manufacturing moved, ownership shifted, and longtime customers are not wrong when they say some pieces are not what they used to be. But the mistake is assuming everything changed equally. In the category where Land's End built its reputation, shirts, there is still real value. The Oxford cloth button-down is the piece to know. It has enough structure to look grown up without feeling stiff. It comes in fits and sizes that actually account for adult men. Broader shoulders, fuller chests, longer torsos, and big and tall options. That matters more than most sizing charts admit. The Supima cotton dress shirt covers a useful middle ground. Dressed enough for business casual, relaxed enough for Friday night. Clean collar, structured body, low maintenance. The quarter zips and basic sweaters can also work, but this is where you need to be selective. One practical note: Land's End discounts often, so patience is part of the value. What I would buy: Oxford shirts, Supima dress shirts, simple sweaters, quarter zips, and classic outerwear only when the fabric feels right. What I would skip: novelty prints, strange seasonal pieces, anything too boxy, and full-price items that are likely to be discounted later. Land's End is not the exciting brand. That is exactly why it belongs here. A good Oxford shirt is still one of the easiest ways for a man over 40 to look sharper without looking dressed up. Brand 4 is what happens when a company stops chasing trends and simply keeps making the pieces that already work. Number 4, L.L.Bean. If Uniqlo is clean Japanese simplicity, L.L.Bean is practical American durability. This is a brand that has never needed to reinvent itself every 6 months. That consistency is the point. The best L.L.Bean pieces looked right decades ago, look right today, and will probably still look right years from now. For a man over 40, that consistency has real value. The bean boot is the obvious starting point. It was built to solve a real problem: wet feet in Maine. That origin still matters. The boot looks natural because the function came first. The chamois shirt is one of the most useful casual shirts in American menswear. Heavy brushed cotton, softer over time, warmer than a regular button-down, cleaner than a sweatshirt. It sits in that useful middle ground between rugged and presentable. The better flannels have real weight, classic patterns, and cuts that make sense on adult men. The field coats and canvas outerwear are where L.L.Bean really earns its reputation. Straightforward, durable, not covered in logos, and better with age when you buy the right piece. What I would buy: bean boots, chamois shirts, flannels, field coats, canvas bags, and fleece when the fit is clean. What I would skip: novelty graphics, souvenir-looking pieces, and boxy fleece that makes your shape disappear. A lot of expensive brands sell the image of rugged American style. L.L.Bean sells the original idea. The engineering came first. The look followed naturally. That is why it works after 40. It does not make you look trendy. It makes you look grounded. Brand 5 sounds wrong until you understand the difference between real workwear and workwear fashion. Number 5. Dickies. And before you click away, no, I am not telling you to dress like a skateboarder at 50. I'm talking about the original Dickies, workwear built for tradesmen, cooks, mechanics, warehouse workers, and men who needed clothing to survive real life before fashion discovered it. The 874 original work pant is where to start. Polyester cotton twill, wrinkle resistant, holds a crease, deep pockets, durable construction, and usually priced far below designer workwear. A lot of casual chinos at twice the price do not feel as sturdy. The reason the 874 works is simple. It was designed for function first. Designer brands often sell the appearance of workwear. Dickies sells the engineering behind it. The work shirts are useful too. Chambray or twill, clean collar, chest pockets, tougher than a normal casual shirt, but still presentable when the rest of the outfit stays simple. The Eisenhower jacket is worth knowing. Short, structured, practical, and inspired by the military jacket associated with General Eisenhower. It works best in khaki, navy, charcoal, or olive. There are rules with Dickies after 40. Color matters. Stick with khaki, navy, charcoal, olive, black, or dark brown. Fit matters even more. The 874 is relaxed by design, so try your normal size and the closest size up or down. The goal is not tight. The goal is clean through the seat and thigh without looking oversized. What I would buy: 874 pants, work shirts, Eisenhower jackets, and simple twill pieces. What I would skip: loud colors, oversized streetwear styling, extreme baggy fits, and anything that makes the outfit feel like a costume. Dickies works best on a grown man when it looks practical, not performative. Before you buy from any of them, here is the rule that matters more than the brand name. Kirkland for basics, Uniqlo for fabric discipline, Land's End for shirts, L.L.Bean for durability, Dickies for real workwear. What they share is simple. More of your money goes into what you wear, and less of it goes into the story around it. Use these 4 quick tests before buying anything. Test 1. Read the fabric label, not the logo. Look for signals like Supima cotton, Pima cotton, long staple cotton, cotton twill, heavyweight cotton, merino wool, or denim with real weight. Be careful with vague blends, thin fabric, or labels that do not tell you much. The inside label tells you more than the outside logo. Test 2. Check the fit where it matters. On a shirt, the collar should hold its shape, the shoulder seam should sit close to the edge of your shoulder, and the body should not pull at the stomach or balloon around the chest. On pants, check the rise, seat, thigh, and hem. If the pants fight your body in the fitting room, they will not get better at home. Bad fit makes expensive clothes look cheap. Good fit makes affordable clothes look intentional. Test 3. Turn it inside out. Look at the stitching. Is it consistent? Are the seams straight? Check the stress points. Pocket corners, the seat of the pants, the collar base, and the underarm seam. Are they reinforced, or does the whole thing look thin and rushed? Brands can polish the outside. The inside tells you how much care went into the piece. Test 4. Think 30 wears ahead. Will it still look good after 30 wears? Will the collar hold? Will the color still look clean? Will the fabric keep its shape? Will you still want to wear it 6 months from now? The real cost of clothing is not the price at checkout. It is the cost every time you wear it. If a piece passes fabric, fit, construction, and time, the brand name matters a lot less than most men think. Most men eventually reach a point where the name on the label matters less than whether the clothes work. Kirkland for basics, Uniqlo for clean essentials, Land's End for shirts, L.L.Bean for durability, Dickies for real workwear. These are not perfect brands. They are useful brands. That is the difference. After 40, the goal is not to wear the loudest name in the room. The goal is to look clean, capable, and put together without trying too hard. Not younger, not louder, just sharper. If you have an affordable brand that has genuinely held up for you, drop it in the comments. Not the brand with the best advertising, the one still in your rotation after 5 or 10 years. And if this was useful, subscribe. This channel is about clothing that works, brands worth trusting, and style advice for men over 40 who are done wasting money on marketing. And remember, after 40, the best dressed man in the room is not wearing the loudest brand. He is wearing the smartest choices. Thanks for watching.